Hi there, I'm Mike, and what I have for you today is Star Wars The Black Series, 4 LOM, 4 LOM, Zuckuss. I guess if you're one of those guys that really sticks with that one mistake that Kenner made back in the late 70s / early 80s, drop that. They fixed it, they admitted their mistake, stop calling him Zuckuss. Someone in a comment at one point on my channel suggested that I call him 4 LOM because the rest of the droids in the Star Wars universe get called that way as well. R2-D2, C-3PO. I get it. 4 LOM is more appropriate. If I call him 4 LOM, it's just from years of doing it, but I acknowledge the fact that, 4 LOM is probably a more accurate thing to call him. This is my review of him because I finally got him. Special shout out to my Canadian Santa Claus, Gord, for finding this for me and sending it to me. Also, special shout out to Carter and Grace. Just because, why not? Hi. Let's go ahead and take a look at this picture while I read the bio on the back of the box, like I always do. A rusty droid with insectile features, 4 LOM was originally a protocol droid, but logic glitches allowed him to escape his programming and become a bounty hunter. That proved a perfect occupation for the cold, calculating, and mechanical. Mechanical what? Like, you can't just end a sentence saying mechanical. That's an adjective. Here he is out of the package, and I like him. Let's break it down like I normally do. If you haven't put together my method here, I go over some specific things in a specific order and then adjust them a point value that I don't really talk about until the very, very end. The first thing I go over is likeness. Does he look like he should? And the answer is yes, he does. He's got a weird insectile head. He's got a protocol droid's body. It looks like it should. I can't see any glaring omissions. I can't see any likeness problems. The nice thing about not having an actual face, like a person's face, is, it's easier to not mess that up. It looks like Zuckuss's face. I get why Kenner made that mistake back in the day. It's very hard to tell them apart just from looking at their face. They have basically the same face. Am I being alienist? Maybe. Don't at me. My rating on this likeness is a 1. He does the job he's supposed to do, and he does it well. What about his accessories? What does he come with? I rate this based on what he comes with, what it looks like, and is he missing something? Should he have come with more? I'm also going to be comparing this guy a lot to C-3PO because for the most part, he's a protocol droid. I mean, he is a protocol droid. Not even for the most part. That's what he is. He's the 3rd protocol droid we received in the Black Series line so far, if you count C-3PO twice, since there were 2 releases of him. And I'm doing that because I can. It's my channel, it's my video. What does he come with? C-3PO came with nothing. He comes with this gun. And that's nice because he's a bounty hunter. He holds this gun in the movie. It's like the only thing he does in the movie is he holds the gun. And he holds it like it's a staff, which is weird. Like he's using it to prop himself up. Maybe he is. Maybe there wasn't anyone in that suit. The gun, it's there. It does its job. You can make him hold it like he does in the movie, or you can make him hold it like he's holding a gun and going to shoot somebody, which I much prefer. This gun is the exact same gun that we got from the Sand Trooper way back in 2013 in the very first wave of Black Series figures. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It's the gun that he should have. It's the gun he had in the movie. However, I do find this gun to be a little lackluster. First of all, it's the exact same gun, so yeah, it's lost a little bit of its appeal, but that's not a huge deal. The second thing is, lately, Hasbro has been killing it with weapons. Chewbacca's rifle from the new Solo movie has moving parts. Kira's little blaster thing has that breakaway loading action thing that I did a whole video on just that for some reason. I would have liked it if they tweaked this gun. It obviously has moving parts. It looks like this should come down and become some sort of stand. Like, I don't know, I wish they just spruced it up a little bit. I feel like it's been 5 years since we've been getting this gun in various, ways. It'd be cool if they spruced it up just a tad at this point. Also, the plastic they use is a little translucent. It's a little thin, a little flimsy, and it has 0 paint applications on it. It really should have something. Is there anything else he should have come with? Not necessarily accessory-wise. This is really the only thing I could think of that he should come with because that's the only thing he's really ever had or been seen with. However, I am a huge proponent for alternate hands. They literally have hands from C-3PO they could have just put on here to give you a more natural look. He didn't have any grippy hands. His hands were kind of out like he's gonna flat palm you or, just He just had natural looking hands. They could have painted it this color, slapped some in there, and had some nice alternate hands for just, normal looking poses. Other than that though, I can't really think of anything. All in all, I give the accessories a 0.75. What about his articulation? That was one of the things that C-3PO really lacked on that figure that I never reviewed. So let's go ahead and take a close-up of that right now. 4LOM's head moves a lot of different ways. It has a crazy range of movement. I can't get over how much this head moves. Forward this far, back this far, side this far, side that far, all the way around. He can do whatever. His arm moves out that far. There is a hinge at the upper bicep. It does swivel all the way around. There is actually an elbow hinge, unlike C-3PO. Wrist swivel, as well as a wrist hinge. He has a diaphragm joint that moves forwards and backwards. Forward this far, back that far, and it swivels. His legs move forward this far, not a lot. Back even less because of the molding on his butt. And upper thigh swivel. He has a single jointed knee, probably one of the worst knees in all of the Black Series. He has an ankle hinge, as well as a pivot, with this being his widest stance with both feet flat on the ground. So as you can see, the articulation is way better than it was on C-3PO. He does have a couple of the same hang-ups that C-3PO had. The knee is only a single jointed knee, and he does have some of that stiffness. However, he's a protocol droid. He should be stiff. That's just how they moved in the movie. One thing that he has over C-3PO is the elbow articulation. That's one thing that everyone complained about 3PO. They could have done elbow articulation. They did in the 3 3/4 inch figure. Why couldn't they in a 6 inch figure? That should be easier to do than it was in a 3 3/4 inch figure. His head also has maybe the best head articulation of any Black Series figure I've ever seen. The way it moves forward, backwards, to the sides, all of that. Fantastic. They did a great job. That, coupled with he doesn't really have anything getting in the way of his movement, around the shoulder neck area. So that's always a plus as well. The biggest drawback he has though is the leg articulation. Because of the sculpting of these parts that kind of hang up high, it scrapes against his butt, and that causes some issues when you're trying to move them backwards or forwards or to the sides. He doesn't have the range of movement that you really think he should have. All in all, his articulation is not nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be, but it could still be a little bit better. I'll give it a 0.75. It's mostly just being held back by the sculpt around the butt. The robot. Speaking of sculpting, let's talk about that. Don't confuse sculpting with the likeness portion. This is where we get into the nitty-gritty of what it looks like. What are the details in here? First of all, his head is sculpted incredibly. It even has translucent eyes, so if you do kind of shine some light, kind of like light piping, but not really, because it doesn't have an entry point somewhere in the middle of the back of the head. You're just kind of catching it off through the sides, which is, it's fine. His chest is sculpted differently and more appropriately than C-3PO's. It has that kind of swooping, drooping pattern on his chest that C-3PO doesn't have. I'm pretty sure the midriff that he's got exposed, like it's a hot summer day, is slightly different. Not only is it different, that I'm pretty sure it's different, it has a fantastic paint wash. And that's really where this figure shines. The paint on it is spectacular. The rust color, the wash, everything makes it look like it's dirty. Every time I touch this figure, I feel like I need to clean my hands. I don't. It's not really dirty, but I feel like it should be rusty and have that rust smell to it. The paint is really well done on this. As far as my score for sculpt and paint, I'll give it the full 1 point. It's a fantastic sculpt and even better paint job. And lastly, I like to talk about my want, my general want for the figure. Like, did I even care about this in the first place? Slash availability. Is it hard to find? Can you find it? Where do you find it? Things like that. My want, yeah, I wanted it. This figure, along with Dengar and Zuckuss, they were tied for my top spot in my 2016 top 10 wish list video that I made, I guess back in 2016. I said that. So obviously the want was there. You have to have him to complete that bounty hunter scene from Empire Strikes Back. And as a Star Wars fan that collects toys, you have to recreate that scene. It's a must. All three got announced after last summer's Comic-Con. This is the first one to actually hit the shelves. We're waiting for Dengar and then Zuckuss, which was originally going to be a Toys R Us exclusive, and I still haven't heard where he's coming out from. I'm expecting some kind of online retailer like Entertainment Earth, who picked up a lot of the Toys R Us exclusives. Rest in peace, Toys R Us. But with this, 4 down, 2 more to go. I can't wait. So the want was definitely there. What about availability? Where can you find this guy? As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this got sent to me from Canada by Gord, my Canadian Santa Claus. However, I did also have this on order from Dorkside Toys. And honestly, at this point, I think your best bet is probably trying to order him on some sort of online retailer. Entertainment Earth, Dorkside Toys, Amazon, Big Bad Toy Store, you know, wherever you like to order things online. It's probably going to be your best bet. I have heard of him being in retail shops. I've seen the remnants of his wave. I know my friend B-Boy Fett found his at Target like maybe a week before I got mine. I know Dan Larson found his at Walmart randomly yesterday. But it just kind of seems few and far between with people finding them, and then, you know, they get bought up immediately because everyone in the world wants this figure, because everyone is trying to complete that bounty hunter set. On top of that, you know, you have to worry about people scalping. There are people that know that people want this figure, so they know that they can buy it and then sell it at a higher price for that premium sticker. Don't play into their game. I know it's really tempting to want this figure. Wait. You could probably get it online at a normal price, not from a scalper. Scalpers are basically garbage, but you being the person that gives the scalpers money is the garbage that, you know, they feed on. So stop. Everyone should just stop. So obviously that's the full point, the 1 point for want/need. So where does that tally up? If I math this out right, and I did because I have it right here on my notes, that's a 4.5 out of 5, which is a fantastic score. He suffered a little bit in articulation and a little bit in accessories, but for the most part, those are nitpicks on an overall fantastic figure. He just checks off so many things that makes a figure cool. Robot? Check. Bounty hunter? Check. Weird alien bug head? Check. Sexy robot butt? Check. I can already tell that this figure is destined to be in my top 10 figure list of 2018. Although I say that now we're in June. Who knows what'll come out between now and the end of the year. It could bump them down, and that would be really cool if it did, because that would mean that we'd be spoiled for choice. In the meantime, go find this guy. If you're a Star Wars fan, if you like to collect Star Wars toys, this is an easy buy. Go buy it. Let's do it. So that's it for my review. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for getting this far. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of it. Did you have it? Do you care about it? What did you think of my review? Did you agree with me? You know, I like to respond to those. So go ahead and leave a comment and I'll respond. That's how it works. There's also a couple ways down in the downstairs area you can, you know, support my channel if you want to, but definitely don't feel like you have to. I do this for fun, not because it's some kind of job or anything. I released a channel update video recently. Do expect fewer videos from me over the next month or so, probably until August, as I'm getting married and moving. And it's a whole thing, and it takes up a lot of time to do all of that. So I'm taking this stuff down. I'm not looking forward to doing, but I'm going to have to do it. Anyways, that's it for me. Thanks for getting this far. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later. Bye.